Wrong button. Sorry about that. Wrong button. It happens. All right. Pretty good day today. Hello from Portugal, Sweden, everybody. I hope you all had a great day. Mine has not been bad. Actually, let me see here. Try to lower that a little bit. Sometimes I move this. There we go. I think that's better. Mine hasn't been bad. So up about, 130, maybe 140 on the day. Lots of stuff happening today, guys. We got Bitcoin looking like it's going to break out. Let me just pop that up on the screen real quick. We've got Bitcoin dominance popping at the same time. I'll pull that up in a second here, but you can actually see that dominance is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. That's also very interesting and very, very, very positive, I think. It's good for, after a consolidation like this, for Bitcoin to be the leader, I think. And we seem to be doing that. We got peak volume underneath of us, lots of peak volume underneath of us, strong bounce zones. And we're looking like we want to either press up underneath this downward resistance line into close today, or that we're going to be above it. And I like either one of those, honestly. As long as it's close to this line at close, I think it's exciting. We have miners rocking it out today. Cypher's in the lead, but it's pretty good either way. Cypher is 14.35. Wolf is at 12. Bit Digital is at almost 9. HUD is at 9. Underperformers really appear to be the narrative for today. Iron 6.7. Mara 6. CleanSpark 5.21. Bitfarms 3.78. Riot, Bitcoin, MicroStrategy at the way bottom. So miners still the play. You want to fade MicroStrategy so far and continue to ride that miner train. So it's been working out. It's been working out for people that are in that. Also, like I said, small caps did really good today. So let's just look at this. So the Russell 2000 small cap index actually got closed up, or it's not closed yet. I guess we got 7 minutes. I need to remember that if I'm starting early. But it closed up it's up 1.71%. And then with the NASDAQ at the same time, it's up 0.02%. And the S&P is up 0.43. So definitely small caps are the winner today, guys. Gotta love that. Not a bad thing at all for the market. So I love seeing it. Fear and greed indexes, real quick. So we have the stock market at 70, and we have, again, a decent retracement from yesterday, and then 73 for crypto. And I think altcoins, again, retreating maybe a little bit today. Yeah, retreating a little bit today. You can see some of them still rolling, but, a decent amount of them getting hit because Bitcoin's taking the lead. We don't hate that at all. And we got stocks to talk about too, but let's just look over here. So CleanSpark, obviously my MVP today, but honorable mention to PayPal, who's starting to catch up a little bit again too. And then again, miners like Mara, Iron, Robinhood was being kind. We got some Robinhood news to talk about. ARKG's finally getting a little bit of a bid. Bitfarms is doing okay. And let's see how Tesla did today. Tesla ended up 0.83%. It did all right too, right? Like we're up 12,000 on that one. 1.87, about 2x the underlying. That makes sense. That's what we're looking for. I still think Tesla can roll over, but we'll talk about that later. Real quickly here. So let's just jump over. We're going to look at Bitcoin-related news really fast, and then we're going to jump back into stock-related stuff, okay? And thank you, everybody, for being here. This morning stream was crazy. I think there's like almost 200 gifted and signed-up members today. Kind of blew me away, but I really appreciate it. So Martin said, now inflows to accumulation addresses have reached 56,700 BTC. Is this the beginning of phase 4? And so what he's quantifying here is phase 1 is reduced inflows prior to the Bitcoin ETF. So we saw inflows weren't that great. Bitcoin phase 2 is the Bitcoin ETF happens. The inflows are through the roof. Just look at this massive peaks over here. And then phase 3 is sustained strong inflow over an extended period of time. So we got a lull. We had a lull before this. We had a lull after the spike just from oscillation. And then we had a period of, hey, this isn't too bad. And now, start of phase 4, inflow of accumulation of addresses, 56.7 thousand Bitcoin, and just a massive impulse that's higher than what we even had at the ETFs. So this is just representative of the fact that this is really strong right now. Wanted to make sure to pass that on. Econometrics, I was kind of liking this today. I just noticed this person. We're gonna let the system maybe talk to this. Let me see here. How does that work? Just click this.
Bitcoin has stayed mostly flat since the halving. This means it hasn't even caught up with the bottom of the range of past post-halving growth patterns. What catalyst could spark growth?
So interesting stat. So Bitcoin's growth trajectory after the fourth halving. So you can see when the halving events are. We actually are having the weakest so far. You could see how previous halvings have done really, really well. Like the trajectory for the first halving is obviously very, very powerful. The second halving was in red. That was pretty powerful. The third halving actually was really good initially. Then the Fed neutered rates at the most aggressive in history, and that one just diminished greatly. Then there's the average growth trajectory that they took from all three of those. I actually think there's potential that we could go up towards the average because again we got neutered last time, but this time we have kind of the opposite of flows, very powerful flows. So I think if anything we're looking probably like someone up here. And that is a huge number if anything like that were to happen. But the fact that we're way down here is, I think, a really positive sign. I wouldn't look at the dollar amounts as like perfect representations of where we would be. That part's a little iffy, but just where we are in performance versus these others, I think is very telling. So I wanted to show that. Also, he had add a couple 100,000 Bitcoin to your balance sheet and see what happens. Side effects may include volatility, outsized returns, and parabolic moves. MicroStrategy. Again, MicroStrategy from 2013-ish all the way up to 2020. Pretty boring stock. Added Bitcoin to the balance sheet, and it's not boring anymore. So this is a good point. I think it's a good point because it's representative of what will be happening with Bitcoin as a whole. As everybody knows, we had Bitcoin break 68,000 today and got a little bit higher. We're testing all of that now, just like we looked at in the chart. And Italy decided to tax people more for capital gains. I think that's a horrible idea. And then Thomas from Apollo said earlier, I posted this, for every 1% rise in Trump's probability of winning, we're seeing a $1,000 jump in Bitcoin. Don't know if there's a direct correlation, but I do believe there is. And then we talked about MicroStrategy and how Hal Finney originally felt about the vision and how he thought that Bitcoin could be a bank. That was a good post too. And then our buddy Anthony Pompliano just talking about how it used to cost in 2016 664 Bitcoin to buy the average home. Now it costs $6. A 99% drop in the cost of Bitcoin per house. Pretty cool. Or I should say the price of the house versus Bitcoin. Better. All right, so that's it for the Bitcoin segment. We're going to jump over into some stock-related stuffs, and then we'll talk about other things. So Robinhood has an amazing offer, and I'm probably going to be taking some of it up. With IRA transfers, you can transfer over an IRA and get 3% in additional funds. So, like if I transferred over $1 million, that's $30,000 in funds that become available to you. If you have Robinhood Gold, they also have, for non-IRAs, I think it was 2%. Uncapped bonuses if you have Robinhood Gold, and then a 1% offer for brokerage account transfers. What was the 2% again? 2% on account transfers with 10K margin balance. So if you're going to use margin, I don't like margin. They're also evidently releasing their, I think, desktop platform. I don't know if this has officially happened yet. I think I might be trialing some of this. I don't know. Some word about it. Kind of excited about that. How did Robinhood do today? If we look over here. Up 0.62%. Not bad. Don't hate that move. So that's pretty cool. Let's hop over here. I do want to jump to NVIDIA related stuff. I want to play one video real quick here. I thought this was a good one. He had a little segment about Tesla, but I think this is a little bit separate, but I want you to hear it. It's just how AI will change everybody's jobs. And speaking of that, I'm watching a video right now, too, talking about how 50% of jobs are going to get replaced in the next 5 to 10 years. It's fascinating. It also there's some thesis from Naval about everybody kind of having their own company in the future, their own brand. That's fascinating too. There's a lot of really interesting stuff. I might make a shorter video about it, but let's listen here about Jensen Huang talk about NVIDIA and AI.
Radically more. This is often misunderstood. AI is not. It's not. AI will change every job.
Right.
AI will have a seismic impact on how people think about work. Let's acknowledge that.
Oh, sorry, I clicked a button. Chris said, "You doing the hood thing tonight? I see Tanner and Roy are there. Probably not. I'm sure they'll have it covered. I'll probably just take whatever they have and look at it tomorrow morning. But yeah, no, I don't think there's much need for me to do it, and I don't want to do busy work. I don't get paid for ads, man. I get paid for what we produce for quality content, and I just don't feel like doing stuff like that anymore. I want to really look big picture and focus on that. So probably not.
Often misunderstood. AI is not. It's not. AI will change every job.
Right.
AI will have a seismic impact on how people think about work. Let's acknowledge that.
Right.
AI has the potential to do incredible good. It has the potential to do harm. We have to build safe AI.
Yes.
Let's just make that foundational.
Yes.
Okay. The part that is overlooked is when companies become more productive using artificial intelligence, it is likely that it manifests itself into either better earnings.
Oh, I don't think enough people are talking about this. They're like, oh, AI hype, yada, yada, yada. I do think that even from my own experience, just again, I'm a one-man team here, right? Just from my own experience, I could see how AI can automate process. I can see how AI can replace a number of things where I might have to hire somebody. I can see where AI just creates a ton of efficiency across the board in the very near future, and even really already for me now. So I do agree. I think that this improves earnings for companies. It might cause layoffs, but I think companies can benefit greatly from it and could see improved earnings, and that would be stimulative to the stock market. Let's listen to the rest of what Jensen Huang has to say.
Or better growth, or both.
Right.
And when that happens, the next email from the CEO is likely not a layoff announcement.
Of course. Because you're growing.
Yeah. And the reason
That's a very valid point as well, is that this can increase profitability. Maybe there's some people you let go of, but maybe also you have new product lines, maybe you have growth in different areas, and so you end up hiring. It's a really good point. Really good point. It doesn't have to really be negative, at least over the next, year or two. It could be very, very positive. Now, eventually, I think we start stacking up layoffs because people need to figure out what they're going to do next, because there will be so much inefficiency gains and so many jobs replaced by robots and autonomy. But I do agree with them over the short term.
for that is because we have more ideas than we can explore, and we need people to help us think through it before we automate it. And so the automation.
Were you saying, Charles, you said that's the point Alex Karp makes from Palantir? Are you talking about the same one that Jensen Huang is making, that it could actually increase profits, increase efficiency, and then at the same time, maybe you're not letting a bunch of people go, maybe you're actually expanding and growing? Is that what you're talking about? There's a lot of smart people, I think, that kind of realize the benefits. It's the same kind of thing with Tesla. Do you think Tesla's doing major layoffs? They do to clean house every once in a while, but it's really just reorganization and then expansion and more job creation. I would agree. Good companies, especially with the combination of AI, are going to do a great job.
Part of it, AI can help us do. Obviously, it's going to help us think through it as well, but it's still going to require us to go figure out what problems do I want to solve. There are a trillion things we can go solve. What problems does this company have to go solve?
I clicked the wrong button. Let's get to the end.
There are a trillion automated and scale. And so as a result, we're going to hire more people as we become more productive. People forget that, and if you go back in time, obviously we have more ideas today than 200 years ago. That's the reason why GDPs are larger and more people are employed. And even though we're automating like crazy underneath.
Yeah, I think that's a brilliant comment. I just think that's a brilliant comment. I think it's very, very true. So I like the fact that he said it. And again, Alex Karp is also brilliant. So, all right, real quickly, Tesla. So I still think Tesla stock might drop with earnings next week, but I also wonder if it might not because of what they're doing with all this Bitcoin shenanigans. So you can see where I had that line where it could go lower. And this is on the weekly time frame. Let's go to the daily. You could see the daily, how it's riding up, but I don't like the price action here, guys. I could see us make a leg down still. So I'm still kind of biased on we could go down to 200. That's where I'm leaning from the stock. Now, in reality, I think the company's really great. Maybe we go down before earnings because of bad expectations. But this right here is what's real with this company. And also, I said this earlier in the market open. I think there's another car coming in production on the first half of this next year. I think there's another car. They literally told us that. We'll look at it again. But just watch this. Just think about the future that's in front of us. I just can't wait. Sealess, what'd you say? Well, desktop computers didn't reduce employee costs overall because we did more activity as a part of our economy. Fair share, not useful. Yeah, no, that's true. But I mean, a fair share is useful too. If you look at what you can do with automation, just even with a desktop computer over time, and how much that's changed the tools we've been given access to, you could see massive efficiency gains over longer periods of time. So, yeah, I need a butler. My wife needs a gardener, and I need like I don't know, maid too. So there's a lot of stuff I need. So that's why I want to order 5 of them. But again, you need to envision the future. There's a lot of really great things coming. Daniel says, I'm currently using Copilot to code faster. As long as Copilot does not take my job fully, it'll be my friend. If it takes my job away, I'm not sure how I will feel about that. Very true. Very true. But again, if the company actually benefits and can increase revenue because of your efficiency gains, if you're giving them more for less, then the tools, I think, are actually making the companies more profitable, right? They'll make them more profitable. They won't necessarily have to hire another one of you, Daniel, and yet they'll still be able to make money. Because I think as long as we have policies that are stimulative, fiscally stimulative for the economy and don't contract, as long as we don't do too many stupid things politically, then we can see very positive benefits in the future with this technology, and also trying to balance budgets and government and just all the other positive things we could do. So I don't know. I'm very excited about all of it. Sela said, but then AI will have multiple waves and trends. It will change human thinking. It will. That's the way it works, right? We have new technology, and then we look at things differently. Now, I want to go over this again. So Holmar's catalog and Matt Smith were having this conversation back and forth saying, yeah, so we did get the cyber cab and we did get the van. So we got these 2, but there's another one over here. It looks just like this one over here, like identical, exactly, perfectly identical to it. And we know that the Roadster, why would they cover up? Why wouldn't they just put like coming soon? Coming in 2027. Like, they could put any fucking date they want. People have waited so long. They're okay with it, right? So they would put that in there, but they're just like, let's not put it in. We haven't talked about it in a while. Just leave it out for now. They'll get it when they get it. But I actually think this other vehicle here is maybe a steering wheel and pedal version of the Cybercab. And here's why I say that. Because Omar was nice enough to look back at the last earnings report, and he said, product. Plans for new vehicles, including more affordable models, remain on track for startup production in the first half of 2025. So Robotaxi Day was all about autonomy and robotics. It wasn't, here's a new car day. It wasn't, here's the $25,000 car day. Now, they're saying in 2025, they'll be producing this vehicle by the end of the first half of 2025. And said these vehicles will utilize aspects of the next generation platform, so like maybe the Cybercab, as well as aspects of our current platforms, like the 3 and the Y, and will be able to be produced on the same manufacturing lines as the current vehicle lineup. So this approach will result in achieving less cost reduction. So they're not going to get the cost savings they want because it's not going to be the unboxed manufacturing strategy. But it enables them to prudently grow vehicle volumes in a more CapEx efficient manner during uncertain times. So basically a way of saying we can guarantee that we'll be able to produce large quantities of vehicles for a cheap price over this period. And be able to make some margin, like keep growth, because you got to remember, in Germany they've already got approval to expand out from 500,000 to 1 million cars a year, and they're saying 3 to 3.5 million is what they want to get to with existing lines before they open another plant, and they could even add more onto these existing ones, these existing locations. They can do more. But it says the approach will result in achieving less cost reduction than previously expected, but enables us to prudently grow our vehicle volumes in a more CapEx efficient manner during uncertain times. This should help us fully utilize our current expected maximum capacity of close to 3 million vehicles, enabling more than 50% growth over 2023. So 2024, again, more than 50% growth over that time frame, and potentially the same for 2025. Before investing in new manufacturing lines. Our purpose-built robotaxi product will continue to pursue a revolutionary unboxed manufacturing strategy. So I feel like with this image being identical, we saw these two, we got these two, but there's this identical image over there. Everybody was bitching. What did they bitch about when this went out on Thursday, when they unveiled everything? I love this. If it had a steering wheel and pedals, I would totally buy this. Well, they said that thing's going to be under 30, it'll be fully autonomous, big screen, all this other stuff. But they'd have another version that will be cheaper. Well, maybe they're not going to make as much margin on these small ones, but at the same time, they're going to have a lot of volume on them. And so they can make sure that the lines are all operational and fully running and not running at partial capacity, like a lot of legacy auto and even companies in China are having to deal with right now, which is like 50% capacity, having to close down different locations. It's very problematic. So I think this is happening. What do you guys think? I think this is real. I think we're getting another car next in production by the end of the first half. And maybe it goes into Q3 or Q4. But wouldn't that be awesome in 2025 if you have a June 2026 call for 330 strike and this company is getting ready to do that cheaper vehicle, and you've seen this amazing vision that they have for robotics with Optimus and also what they're going to do with the cyber cab and the van? I think it's real, man. I think it's real. All right, so let me just roll through here. So Attila says, we've had deflationary technology for decades, centuries, but the rich always skim the cream and the regular person is still getting by. Yeah, that doesn't have to... I mean, that's a pretty pessimistic way of looking at it, Attila. All of humanity is much better off. The poorest person in the United States right now probably still has a cell phone. They could still get access to food every single day. They could get access to a big screen TV that's 65-inch and not even be rich. When I was a kid, you would have paid $1 million to get anything that big. I mean, you couldn't even get it. And if you jump back another 100 years, you had an even shittier life, even if you were super rich. And if you jump back another 100 on top of that, you could be dying of polio and other shit. So let's not act like only the rich get to benefit from all of this. It's disingenuous. It's not true, right? Now, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of people that have a lot of money, right? But people like Elon Musk that are bettering the world in like any number of ways, it's okay for them to have more money than I have. I'm fine with that. If they can apply that capital, the man doesn't even have a mansion, okay? The union leader for these people on the East Coast had a yacht and a mansion. Elon Musk doesn't even have that. He might have a ton of money, but look at what he's doing with it. This whole like eat the rich stuff drives me nuts. I think people need to realize that we actually have much better lives. I mean, we have other problems, but we have it pretty freaking easy compared to people even 100 years ago. So I don't love hearing that only the rich are doing so well. You know what you should do? If you want to do well too, you know what you can do? You can buy real estate. You can invest in stocks. You can work harder. Welcome to America, where people that work harder benefit more. Okay? And this is coming from somebody who was a high school dropout and who had a lot of headwinds in front of him. So if I can turn around and become a rich retired multimillionaire and my professional career was mediocre at best, I think anybody can have a good life in this country. And I think we need to stop looking at it as, oh, the rich take everything. That kind of comment really pisses me off. And maybe that's not the way you intended it, but I just want to put that out there because again, a capitalist society is beautiful. If you want to participate, invest. That's it. That's all you got to do. Okay? And you can invest in things that make the world a better place. So do that. Anyway, sorry. Kane, I'm a CNC machinist. My machine is basically a robot that does the cutting on parts that people used to do. I adapted to using the robot over manual machines, and now my job is in huge demand. That's awesome, Kane. Silas, some humans may focus on instinctual basics more, like family and family life. Others will get lost in artificial worlds and roam around with real and AI friends and virtual. Yeah, and some people will be bums, and some people will be bums and then be like me. Like, I wanted to retire so I could be a bum. You know what I found out from that? It wasn't fulfilling. And that if I didn't do something with my time, I was probably going to go nuts. Okay? That's a real problem that people want to work hard so much or like they want to retire. They want the easy road. And here's the thing. When you get it, you know what you find out? If you lack purpose, you will not be happy. Okay? You will not be happy. That's why I think there's so many rich people that are not happy people. So I would again, it's there's different problems in life, and you're right. There's going to be a lot of problems. I think purpose will be a huge one, Silas. I think you're spot on. Kane, I believe in the robots as they didn't take my job, only improved it. They will take jobs. I probably need to I need to take this other video, and I need to talk to that too. There's going to be phases of it. Now, there could be newer jobs like this, whatever I do. I don't even know how this started. I was just trying to tell people, no, I think you're wrong about this thing over here. This is what's really happening. And then I wanted to tell more people, and then I wanted to tell more people. Somehow I'm a YouTuber and an ex-video person and something. I don't know how this started, but maybe there's more of this where people have interests and things they love, and people pay you for that attention. I don't know, man. I think that can happen. Let's keep going. Daniel Morales, I agree. If it ends up that way, we can retire earlier than AI takes my job away. I'll guess it would not matter. Gino said, also, we should have a new Tesla Y Juniper first half of 2025. Yeah, but it's just a refresh, so they don't look at it like a new car. It's just a refresh. But you're right, we should have that too. I'm hoping to get my wife one so we can give the other Y to my mother-in-law. Alex, hell yeah, it's real. Osborne effect is real. Yes, Alex, exactly. That's exactly right. They don't want to Osborne this, so they're not going to they don't want orders on the 3 and the Y to die after they just refreshed the 3 and are getting ready to refresh the Y. They want this thing to literally come out when it's ready. And they've got to avoid the Osborne effect, and that's what they're doing. Silas, $25 and 18,000 price points for Tesla is likely. Below that, let the other manufacturers scrap for any chance of profitability. I agree. Chris shows money. Chris has 100, Jesse. Disease Kodak said, Jesse, can you use your code when I pre-order the new Tesla? Can I use your code? Yeah, that's cool. You can do that. I think I have one left. I think I have one more. But let me just pull it up. I'll throw it out there real quick. If you can grab it before other people, you got it. But yeah, use it. I think it refreshes every year. I don't know if it's calendar year. Does anybody know how that works? I don't know. Let me see. I'll pull it up, though. 1 second. And then we'll move on, because we've got more stuff to talk about. Sorry, I went off on a diatribe. And again, I think you made another comment here. I'll try and read it in a second. I don't mean to sound like attacking either. You might have meant it in a different context. I just want to point out that, I don't know, people are too quick to jump on the rich for being rich. And the opportunity of raising yourself from nothing to having a ton of money and opportunity and be able to decide what to do with your day is something that is a blessing, and that America exclusively, amongst other countries, for the most part, it's the best place to do that in the world. Maybe some other emerging market gives opportunity too, but even with all of our warts, I still think we're the greatest country on earth. We might not always be, but I think we're still there. There's that referral code. All right, let me keep going. Hashtag don't hate the rich. Good. Thanks, Attila. Ruben says, beautiful thoughts, my friend. I might have missed somebody here. All right, keep going. My point was simply, this is Attila. My point was simply that we need to invest in stocks and crypto if we want to come along for the ride. I don't have, yeah, okay, yeah, totally, dude. And again, I just wanted to make that point. And I'm sorry if I used you as an opportunity for it. But yeah, you have to do this. That's 100% right, Attila. You have to invest. You have to buy stocks. You have to buy Bitcoin. If you don't, you'll be left behind. Now, it can get better. We could fix some things. Elon could definitely fix the government. I think if anybody can, he can. But you got to invest. Cressel Federal, it's funny how the harder I work, the luckier I get. Isn't that funny, Chris? Same with me. And now I think, honestly, having a YouTube presence has helped me a lot. And you know why I say that? Because you guys make me accountable for the things I say I'm going to do. And I'm grateful for that. It's very easy for me to want to do things and then not do them. But I feel like if I put myself out there, and maybe that's why a lot of people are successful in life. I don't know. But maybe they put themselves out there and then they're like, gosh, I have to do this now or I'm going to look like an idiot. Maybe that's how, guys. Maybe it's just the act of putting yourself out there that gets you started. I don't know. I've only recently become successful, so I don't know. Walter Bryan. Chris Federal, that's very true. Eric DeWallace. Atlas Shrugged should be required reading in all schools. Yeah, critical thinking should be required in all schools, but it's not. Elevate. Listen to Jesse more and you can become rich. There's a few hidden gems on YouTube and his channel is one. Thanks, man. YouTube can literally make you money in the markets. I didn't know anything 5 years ago. That's awesome, dude. I'm glad to hear it. Ruben from X says, high school dropout here too, retired at 39. You beat me. Kick ass, dude. Haven't gone back almost 5 years later. I have a new perspective in life. Yeah, I don't know how yours went, Ruben, but mine, I retired at 42, so a few years after you. I recommend people do it way earlier than that. And I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity to do that for people that invest and work hard now. But I definitely had issues. I struggled. I played all the video games. I watched all the movies. And I just struggled because I was like, okay, I thought I was going to be 100% happy now that I don't have to work anymore. Got away from the grind. But then you find that there's this egging thing inside of you that still wants purpose. I don't think people, I try to warn people of that because I don't think they realize it. I think people just think that you retire and everything is great and life is good. You have more time if you manage it well, but that can lead to problems. I think human beings are wired to move. Lance, 100% spot on. Interesting looking at videos with retirement advice, and a lot of people run into issues in retirement. I don't think my circumstance is unique. Ryan Rakowski, they took our jobs. Yep, we're going to play that video. Manny247, what's up, Jesse and crew? Disease Kodak, robot stole my job. Yep, it's coming. I'm here like, oh my God, I blame it on Elon. You know it, bro. Sealess, people in Niger with an income of USD 1,000 annually buy grain from American farmers who make $80,000 a year. They could never so readily afford from higher income countries that's transported globally. That's crazy. Alejandro, uranium and quantum. I don't know if quantum is a real thing. I like to think it will be. But uranium is going to be strong, definitely. Quantum is a hard concept to crack. Mark Bentley, some people who were actually poor 40 years ago, I was one of them. If you're watching a big screen TV and using smartphone, you ain't that poor. It's so true, dude. I remember when I bought my first 27-inch flat screen, I paid $4,000. So we got it easy now, guys. Technology is amazing. If you haven't read the book, The Price of Tomorrow by Jeff Booth, read it. I love that, man. Alejandro R., Ionic, up 57% in a month. That's insane. We might need to look at that one in a second. Sealess, the world is improving in multiple ways. Few people die of food starvation nowadays anywhere. 50 years ago, they often did. It's very true. And then think about all the plagues and things that happened throughout history. We're really lucky. Ryan Ripkowski, we just need to keep ourselves free and allow opportunity still to exist. And not just for black people, but for everyone. That's a key point I'd like to make. I feel like there's a difference between being rich and having so much money that the next 10 generations of your bloodline won't have to work. That's my goal. And if the government actually allows that, if we get rid of death taxes, like Trump has talked about, that would be amazing. And if we embrace Bitcoin, you could actually see generations of people get wealthier and smarter and have more opportunity. Or they turn into Wally. I'm not sure which, but we should at least try and find out. Disease Kodak. Lol. Sorry, Jesse, you missed my comment from before. Would you be able to go in depth on CleanSpark scale out options and stock when you get a chance? Yeah, we can talk about that. Dougie Dallas. Elon can't do the government fixing job in the next less than 2 years. He will have a political cover to do it. He will have political cover to do it. Can't do the government fixing job in less than 2 years. He'll have political cover to do. I actually think he doesn't have 8 years, barely one. If Elon can build an AI facility in 19 days that Jensen Huang thinks takes 4 years on average, I think Elon can do anything he wants to, given the proper incentive. So I think he'd be fine. And I think if we get a mandate, so right now I can tell you this from polls, and I'm probably better than 99% of pollsters out there. Trump is winning based upon the House and the Senate, or I should say Republicans are, right? So if Trump wins the election and they get the House and Senate, which I think they get the House and Senate either way, Republicans. If he gets that, he's got a mandate, and the amount of change that could be pushed through would be astronomical. So I don't know, man. I wouldn't count it out. Is it the most likely scenario? I don't know, but I wouldn't count it out. C-list. Plus, people have free or almost free contraception from international agencies, governments nearly everywhere. Family planning, modern luxury, despite its challenges. Yeah, we literally have governments that will give us cheaper taxes and probably pay us in the future, like they're doing with China, to try and get people to have kids. You didn't have those incentives on the way back. You had to grow enough food to make sure they didn't starve, right? Jeff L., I tell my kids, the poor send, the middle class save, and the wealthy invest. That is 100% true. The poor spend, they spend all their money away. The middle class try and save that couple of interest, and they don't realize that inflation is robbing them. And then the wealthy invest, and that's why they're wealthy. Walter Bryan, just buy Bitcoin, and in a few years you'll retire. Buy Bitcoin and Tesla, and you're set. You could keep it that simple. You don't need to do options or any of the stuff I talk about. You could just buy them. Just keep funneling money into them. You'll be rich soon enough. Tyler H., Mr. Bear Hewitt on X. I'm 22 building my portfolio, hoping to retire like you someday. Just work hard and keep at it. You will. Matanga, happiness is the journey, not the destination. I wish I would have learned that money wasn't happiness a long time ago. I've tried and aspired for greatness and all these things to try, and I thought money was that, and it's not. You really have to find your own happiness, and you can start as early as today, because the money won't do it. The success won't do it. You got to have purpose. So if you don't have purpose, guys, you're pretty screwed. So spend time trying to find purpose. All right. Anyway, let's get back to it. So I want to show this real quick. So we got the heat map. Couple things to note. One, technology services did not do well. Outside, Nvidia did good. Outside of that, though, even Apple was taking a hit. We had retail trade getting a little bit of a hit. Health technology taking a little bit of a hit. Utilities, I don't know if they're on here even. Let me see if I got to shrink this. There we go. It looks like utilities actually ended up doing okay. But again, health tech and a lot of tech didn't do great today outside of, the big dog, Nvidia. So it's fascinating to see it still leading. Let's see, mortgage data, economic data. So economic data didn't have much today. Mortgage data kind of sucked. The mortgage market index is still at very, very low numbers that it's been at for a very, very long time. If we look over here, like we're at levels from the 90s, and that's okay because we have nowhere to go but up. And really, most of this is driven by the fact that the 30-year mortgage is still kind of low at 6.52%, or I should say it raised from previous by about 0.16 higher. And so that's not great. And so that caused some problems there. But the rest of it, really, what else do we have today? We had export prices and import prices year over year. Export prices were down 2.1%. Maybe that reduces margins for companies trying to export. And import prices were down too, and lower than previous, but not as low as the export. So, but I don't know. I don't think there's anything really wrong in the data. It was kind of boring. And I think if we look over here at the CME Fed Watch tool, we can see that it was kind of boring, and that we're really on pace for one rate cut every month, or I should say November, December, January, and all the way up until March. We're expecting one rate cut down to 375 and 400, somewhere in between that, around that time frame. I think that's amazing. We are going to talk about some geopolitical stuff in a little bit here, but I do want to jump over real fast into CNBC. Let me just refresh here. I want to look at what they're talking about right now. Oh, I want to back up a little bit. I wanted to see what they had to say about lithium. I think these prices are going to continue to get crushed, but I just want to see what they have to say here. Lithium Americas CEO on EV market. I want to hear what he has to say about EVs, especially. One sec. Let me get back to the beginning. Boy, this guy's talking. All right, here we go. We're going to start here.
All right, I'll take it. Thank you.
Be right back.
Well, Lithium Americas share is soaring today. The small cap company, around $500 million, announcing a new joint venture with General Motors. GM will invest $625 million into the project, developing the Thacker Pass mine in Nevada. Now, this agreement replaces the remaining equity investment from GM that had been scheduled from a deal announced back in January of 2023. You can see shares of Lithium Americas finished up today 23%. Joining us now in a first on CNBC interview is Lithium Americas president and CEO Jonathan Evans. It's great to have you on the show. Welcome.
Thanks, Margaret. Thanks for having me.
So that's exactly where I want to start, because we're talking about $625 million from GM, both in cash and letters of credit, which is perhaps small for the automaker, but it's very large for you, especially when we do talk about a company with a market cap of $500 million. So break down to me what this investment enables, why a JV made sense, and how quickly Thacker Pass can come online.
So our relationship with GM, as you mentioned before, goes back to 2023. They made an initial investment at buying capital shares in the company of $330 million. This replaces that, but also increases it and brings $430 million of cash plus a line of credit on top of that of approximately $200 million. This plus a loan, which we're in the closing process with the Department of Energy, essentially finances the bulk of the project for us to, we're already in construction, but for us to go into full construction and to get the project completed and into production by late 2027. That aligns well with General Motors' needs. I think you hosted their CEO, and they had quite a great investment day about 2 weeks ago. You can see the various plans that they have, and we play a key part in that, in applying it, basically supplying a critical material for all those batteries. Basically,
I don't know. I wouldn't want to be associated with GM, but it's great that they're up 23%. Did I miss? What was the reason why? What was the reason why?
To be in the cathode. So it certainly helped us a lot for us to motivate and get going on the project a lot quicker, but also really it's the financing. And this is a difficult environment for us. The lithium sector has been in a slump as the adoption of this technology is still immature. So it was super helpful, and we're very proud to be a General Motors partner and a key supplier and plan.
I'd rather be a Tesla supplier, personally.
And their strategy going forward of being an EV leader.
You just talked about it. I mean, lithium prices are down something like 80% since
You're doing it, Mary. You're leading. You're leading.
their peak in 2022. We've seen shares of lithium stocks, including yours, fall in tandem with that. So what is your outlook for lithium pricing, especially if something like Thacker Pass comes online? How much of that weakness is tied to the slump we've seen in EV demand versus China overproducing and flooding the market?
So EV demand, I think it's a little bit of a misnomer in terms of EV demand. It has decreased. It's actually just slower than what I think what people are forecasting. So
I mean, it hasn't decreased for Tesla.
third quarter year over year, EV demand in the U.S. is up 11%. Total year, it's up 10%. Globally, it's up 22%. So it's a slower uptick. Again, it's an immature technology that goes through an S-curve. Lithium prices have had a huge impact on this. Typically, we go to the capital markets to look for financing, and of course, it's.
To be clear, I actually did show something. I can't remember where it was. Where was it? Do I have it? Truflation. This showed the electric vehicle commodity index, and this is where they look at like all the baskets and components of it. So lithium being one of them, palladium, cobalt, copper, nickel, platinum, lithium, like all these things, right? And you could see how much it's been crushed in price for this index. This thing was going, it's dropped like 90%, 85, 90% So it's went down a lot in costs.
It's been a risk-off environment. Pricing, I do believe, will go up because our project, even in the current environment, is positive cash flow generating, so it's a globally competitive project. But you're going to need more than us, and it's very difficult, even for the larger cap folks in the sector, to raise money right now. So this was super helpful.
Okay, Jonathan.
That's why they raised money. Okay, all right, that's it. That's why they're up so much today. Cool.
Been a lot of back and forth that you've had with a number of Native American tribes that were arguing against fully.
Elon Musk has donated $220 million in a 3-month period to groups backing Donald Trump's candidacy. Sweet. I love it. Awesome.
Developing Thacker Pass. It's hard for me to get a clear read on whether that's over, fully resolved by the courts.
Thanks for that news, SK.
And whether it has any impact on your ability to start getting productive out of this site?
We're fully permitted, so
Thacker Pass is huge. It's really good that we open up lithium facilities in the United States. I don't know how profitable this company is going to be. That's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother level of complexity, especially when you're having to produce against countries and refine against countries like China. They could definitely crush as far as capacity. So I don't know if this is a good investment, but I love that we're doing this here.
Permit was issued in 2021. We defended it in federal court. It was appealed. It was also
yeah, they're better. So DC 2023 said, so does this mean that EV makers, especially Tesla, will have better margins now that material prices are much lower? Yes, it does mean that. But as you can see over here, the prices have been lower for a while, but they really took a big dump. If you look over here from down into like January of this year, they were low, right? Like this is 9,800. We had another period where we've dropped down here from like this 10 or 11,000 range. This is dollars per basket, EV commodity basket, to now being down to 7,800. So it's lower. It's lower, definitely for sure. And August, I would say this, August, September, July, August, September, we are seeing lower commodity costs that should help with margins. So yes, that is a good question. And yes, I do believe it will help. I don't know if it'll help by like a large amount, but there's other stuff like selling Bitcoin or recognizing new FASB accounting rules that can help Tesla with net income. And they did still grow. It's just a lot of their growth was in China, which is lower margin. So between all of this, lower energy sales, all these things, it might actually end up being a decent quarter. We'll see.
Approved. So we're fully permitted. We've actually started construction. Over 50% of the excavation's done. We have utilities on site. We've mobilized Bechtel, who's our EPCM partner. And I'll say that in court, and you can look at all the court records, all the claims have been disproven. So we're in public land. We're permitted by the Department of Interior, and we're in an area that's actually seen mining in the past as well.
So to what degree do you feel like you have control over your ability to get the most out of this site? It always, when it comes to mines, it always seems so unclear exactly what the factors are that determine whether the production ends up reaching the potential that was pitched in the beginning.
That's a great question. It's a massive resource. So it's the largest in North America. It's third largest in the world. So we have all the ingredients in the United States actually to be very successful in this sector and to build batteries here, lithium being a main ingredient. We have the ability from a resource and reserve standpoint to do several successive phases beyond the initial phase of 40,000 tons a year. And it's all in a relatively compact area in our project site, which is on the southern end of the McDermott caldera. So it really, the issue here has been really financing.
All right, so I don't care so much about his particular situation. That's probably good enough. In all honesty, I'm gonna mute this, refresh it. Did you guys see any content earlier today from CNBC that was really helpful, like something that I should be pulling up to in regard to videos? I didn't have enough time to do a lot of content research. So if you guys have something, let me know and we can find it because I do want to share good things. No Stress Invest said the hood transfer bonuses are looking juicy. I agree. Seedless said, of course, Tesla's market cap could be bigger than China's GDP in 20 years. Not sure that but possible. I actually think it's possible. I don't know if China's going to do very well, and then at the same time, Tesla will really outperform. They'll own the world by then. Gary Corrett, what does X pay for posting content? It's offering me an upgrade deal. I think if you want to broaden your audience, Even if you don't get paid, I think it's worth it to have premium. I don't even respond to people that aren't verified or at least a subscriber to me. I'm just not going to do that anymore. And their new model is going to be made to pay for less about advertising and more about subscription based. They're really trying to get to a subscription based service. So if you want to increase visibility, if you want to increase the potential of what you can make, I would be doing that. I don't make much. I make about 500 to 1,000 a month, but I also have not been posting a lot of content on there. But again, it's one of those things where it's the engagement that you really get. Long form videos don't really have good payouts right now. You're going to probably do better on YouTube or do better with subscriptions. But if I was trying to build any kind of audience whatsoever, it's just a no-brainer to have premium. It's a no-brainer. You should have it for grok, if nothing else, just to answer all the questions in life. C-list, but lithium price drops are probably why Tesla was comfortable to drop prices as they did recently. It's another lever, right? They can lower prices because their costs go down, just like improvements with COGS. DC 2023, thank you, Jesse. That makes sense. C-list, true. I feel like they can capture more market share since they already lead the industry in margins. If their FSD is getting much better, they should be a mega deal to get as many people on FSD and Tesla. Agreed. And it's all just margin profit. And they're generating more. They're going to have over 3 million, maybe 4 million cars in 2025. If they do that, that's just more profit generators for FSD. C-list, Amazon's investment in small modular nuclear reactors is cool. Yeah, that was. I didn't have that. I scraped that off from earlier, but if you guys missed that in the market open, we talked about how Amazon is now getting involved in small nuclear reactor deployment. I think they're going to be, and they're not starting off huge, but it's just a sign that nuclear energy is cool again. And uranium actually did really well because of that. Let's look actually at some of that. I want to go over here real quick. Let's just look over at the watch list again. And again, Cypher closed up 14%. Doge is up 10%. CleanSpark did really well. Looks like Coin and Iron did really well into the end. Uranium up 7%. That's a heck of a move for uranium. They must have liked that Amazon deal too. Mara up almost 7. CleanSpark up 5.5. MU up 4.72. Bitfarms up 4.32. DLO up 4.27. Again, small caps really perform well too. This is a great list. Today, honestly, kind of considering the way the day was, I am super happy to be up 6 figures. I think this was great. Let's see what didn't perform well. What do we got? Even PayPal up 1.6%. That's nothing to shake a stick at. We've got SoFi down today. That makes sense. Meta down. Some volatility was down. Some cryptos were down. Palantir is down 1.2%. Again, these are all things that are kind of expected. I expect SoFi and Palantir to underperform, and I expect Palantir to probably underperform for longer. Let me see here. Sila said, hello, bro. Are you covering Hood even tonight? No. I'm too lazy. Jason G, we'll look at it tomorrow. If there's news related stuff, we got Roy there, we got Tanner there. I'm sure we've got, is Amit there or is he still in India? I don't know. But we've got plenty of people covering it. I'll just look towards their feeds, and if you guys see it, tag me in something. C-list, we can safely handle the spent fuel. If anybody has not seen, look up Finland's nuclear waste storage solution. Yeah, the spent fuel, and then just again not having to worry about meltdowns. There's so many good things that are in that space. Walter Bryan, I feel like Amazon could 3x at least in next 5 years because they're making so much investment in logistics and other areas. Thoughts, Jesse? I think that those areas are like the most expensive, unprofitable part of the business. I really think AWS is where the money's at. I do think they have a lot of cash and they could probably do well in the years ahead. It's just not an investment I'm as focused on because Tesla is just so much better. And it's a smaller market cap, so you have the ability to grow in higher percentages, right? Okay, uranium moving on the nuclear power plants, new interest. DC 2023, hey Jesse, can we review ELF? I feel like it might have a nice entry. Yeah, if you guys have stocks, let's do it now. I gave a lot of the news that I wanted to give. Let me see if there's much else. Oh, geopolitically, I did want to cover this. So this is fascinating to me. Emily Schrader said last night there was a fire at one of the petrol refineries in Iran. Today there was a massive oil spill at the Karg Island, which handles 90% of the country's oil exports. Is this a part of Israel's response or simply coincidence? Remember, Defense Minister Gallant stated that the regime won't even understand how it's happening. So this is just interesting to me because you got to remember, Israel blew up a bunch of Hezbollah leadership, like literally hundreds and hundreds of leadership with pagers that they were able to get these guys to take so that they weren't being tracked. And they had explosives in them and blew these people up, killing a bunch of them. So they have very strong espionage abilities in Israel. So I just wonder if this is a part of it. And I also wonder, I still think they're going after nuclear reactors. I wanted to talk to that because these issues are going to be impactful potentially with stock market and definitely commodities. But it's just fascinating. It's very interesting stuff. So yeah, if you guys have stocks, throw them out. Let's pull up ELF. If anybody has anything else somebody want to look at CleanSpark, I think that was disease. We can look at that. We're going to try and go quick, guys. I'm trying to be more efficient with time. So if we can get this done in an hour and 15, that's awesome. Just more time with your families. So ELF, Tom, thank you for joining. Appreciate you. That's like 200 joins today, just crazy numbers. Now, how far has ELF fallen? And let me just look real quickly. I can't remember the financials. Here's what I don't like about ELF. And again, it could bounce. If the global liquidity is expanding, it could bounce. This thing's dropped 50%. It could bounce. There's actually even a little bit of indication that it's bouncing. If you look over here, you can see where it's kind of stopping. Let me just draw a line here. This will make it easier visually. All right. So if we just do this, right? So we'll do this. We'll try and draw this line flat. We'll turn it into like a green line to indicate support. We'll make it smaller. We'll zoom into it. And then we'll look at the financials for this company. So again, if you look over here, and I'll just get rid of this percentage thing real quick. If you look over here, this green line right here, and maybe I should make it thicker. Maybe that's the better idea, just so it stands out. This green line right here, and you know what? I'll make it a different color because it really doesn't stand out with all the green. So let's go here. So yeah, purplish, violet, whatever color that is. So if we look here, can you see how this previous resistance through here and kind of support for a second here and here could now be turning into support? I think it could. And if we can break up above this fib at 113, that looks good. Now let's look at the financials and make sure that we understand those. Revenue growth 50% year over year. Estimates are showing more revenue growth. But again, we had a little hiccup. We had a hiccup from Q2 to 2024 to Q3. And Q4, we're kind of at the same level and flat. Don't love that. EPS looks still positive. EBIT's positive. Activity over here looks okay. I mean, they did a lot of selling in 2019. They still been selling. Insiders have been selling more than buying. Short interest, I don't love it that it's at 8.58. Institutional ownership growing. A lot of things look okay there. We're starting to see a divergence where we're seeing revenues potentially kind of up to sideways, but maybe operating expenses dropping. We like that. But what is the PE on this? It's 33.22. And this is like retail product, right? Like beauty products. So I don't love the forward PE on it. It is getting better though. And if they keep doing what they're doing, like maybe they're going to hiccup for a little bit, but I would like to see the forward PE get closer to like 20s. That would be better, or just keep accelerating and outperforming. If they do that, then I think we found the bottom. That's my take on ELF. If they don't do that, then maybe we haven't. Jer R on X says LEU Centrist Energy did well, up 25%. Uranium enrichment. Yeah, you're probably going to see a lot of stuff like that. I don't know enough about the uranium sector to be able to give people good advice on where opportunities might exist, but it looks like this is a chart we've looked at before, and we did draw a fib trend-based extension, and I don't know what I said last time, but you could see where this was grinding down, almost bull flaggy, trying to find support on the 200 weekly moving average, where it had done that every other time. Like, look at this. Outside of this range where it just sucked and was in free fall for years, all the way back to 2007. This is really the strongest price action we've seen on this. It looks like it's racing up to the next fib at 84. Could it go higher? I mean, if we start, yes, if people speculate, they start getting crazy. But let's just look over here. Let's draw this out further and see where the volume it really is. Oof, I almost have to, is this at 1,000 for visible range volume profile? Let me just look. I'm going to make this 3,000. It just increases the detailedness of it, because there's so much history here And I can't even go back to like some of this original stuff. It's just too much. So I'll just move over here. But again, all the volumes underneath of us, I think that's the gist. There's really nothing above us. We could get near the 200 moving average and this .618 fib retracement level. We could go up to the 200s on this thing. Now, I don't know if we will. Fundamentals, or I should say financials and fundamentals will dictate a lot. The macro is there for it. But I don't know much more than that. So let's just look here at the financials. What are they doing? 92% revenue growth. That's a heck of a jump. It looks like they have some seasonality, though. What is this? Q4, Q2. No, I don't know. There's just some weird upticks. But we had this really nice impulse in Q2, but now it looks like it's dropping down again. So I don't know how much this fundamentally matters, but institutional ownership is growing. They're definitely applying more capital towards nuclear technology, and that will help markets go higher just from having a lot more capital sloshing into them. They bought pretty hard during the 2019-2020 timeframe, this company. Let's look over here. I do like this. If they can keep it up, but again, they're not going to keep it up. It'll come back down here. But if they can increase margins, if they can really start seeing more positive cash flow, that would be great. They did pay down a bunch of debt, and they've increased their cash position. They're still diluting. I don't love that. They're doing a lot in R&D where they weren't doing that before 2022, really. So you can see that they're starting to invest in research, maybe other technologies, other ways to do the things that they need to do. I think that's good. I don't like that the PE ratio is currently less than 14, and it's going to be if the forward is 21. It just shows that, I mean, let's put it this way. These are pretty reasonable margins, honestly. It could go higher. It can go higher. Let's just leave it at that. But it would be nice to actually see the financials and the fundamentals help. But it could go higher. All right, let's keep going. Albert says small-scale nuclear power is the future. Nuclear is key to energy abundance. I agree. It's a big part of it. It helps. It's more expensive, but it helps. Stephen Turo, hey, Jesse, are you streaming Hood event? Nope. Feeling too lazy. I'll let other people do it. Motive Day, only you I want to watch, and Amit is shouting. Roy is so calm, no emotion, and future investing is always late. That's a pretty good assessment, bro. That's a pretty good assessment. Jason G, UAL short opportunity. I don't remember what UAL is. Let me just look over here. I don't know. Remember all the tickers. Oh, airlines. Yeah. Why do you think it's a short opportunity? Can you add more flavor to that, Jason? All right. So what are their estimates? Are the estimates going lower? They're kind of topping out. They have been buying. Insiders have been buying more than selling recently. Institutional ownership's kind of ticking up. Short interest is not high. I do like this. I like this. That's a heck of a chart since 2020. That's a heck of a chart. Free cash flow looking really sick. $4.3 billion last quarter. That is sick, actually. Their debt's creeping up a little bit. They're still diluting shares. Their net income has been more consistently positive. Operating expenses seem to have stabilized. I don't know. This is pretty cheap, actually. The PE is 5.4 for the forward. Why is this a good short? I don't think this is a good short. I mean, just at a glance, I don't love it. Okay? Just want to be clear. Maybe you can give some understanding as to why it should be it's just the valuation is so cheap. And then if anything, they look like they're finally performing. So I don't know what's going to make them worse. Seedless, we can safely handle the spent fuel if anybody... Oh, yeah, you already said that. Walter Bryant, I feel like Amazon could 3X. We said that earlier. Okay, uranium moving on the nuclear power plants, new interest. All right, let's keep going. Let me get down here. Oh, that was the UAL from Jason. Okay, I found it. Look at Enphase. I'll look at Enphase. But yeah, UAL, just without looking at the stock, man, it looks good to me, bro. It looks good. I'm going to look at Enphase and the financials. I just want to refamiliarize myself with them. Jesse, can you take a look at Wolf? I've got Wolf, Wolf Research. They've been reaching out to me for some branding or partnerships or something. I'm probably going to check into it. I just wanted to let you guys know. I'm basically going to tell them, I'll see what they have to say, and then I'm going to tell them that I'm going to fully disclose everything with anybody that I do anything with, and the only way I'll use their product is if I like it. If I don't use it and find benefit, then I can't speak to it, and I don't lie. So It'll be whatever it is. I do like their analysis and their research, and they're in all these earnings calls. They got really smart people. So in phase, forward PE is 19. Not a bad number. What are their estimates looking like nowadays? Again, rates being lowered should help them. The stock has had a tumble, but it looks like, I mean, they're estimating higher revenues. And the stock is looking fairly cheap. They were selling more than buying since Q3 of 2023. They were selling pretty good there. I hate to see that from insiders. But maybe they were just trying to absorb the bounce. I don't know. There's probably a bounce that they were benefiting from. Their inventories aren't high. That's probably good, right? Enphase versus Tesla Solar. Enphase Solar deployed is much larger than Tesla. Tesla's unrecognizable. So I think the whole point is that they should benefit in the future from it. I do know that hardware wall 3s or whatever, I don't think they need the same inverter technology that they were previously getting from Enphase. That's my understanding. If that's wrong, tell me. But this could be a bounce play. Just because of the cheap valuation at 20 for a forward PE, if they are really growing, they could grow into a much higher valuation in the near future. So let's just look at that. And they've been hit pretty good. I think they broke down after people were kind of saying they were breaking up. This is a good technical pattern. If Enphase doesn't really move, if they really don't move anytime soon, I mean, we got gaps up here right above the .618 that give us 137% upside. So maybe option plays are interesting on this. I haven't looked at them, but man, I'm starting to get interested. Definitely going to keep it on my short list. Peter Gregorick, TDT, please. Yeah, I can look at that. Let me see what the financials are. Always start there first. If I don't like the financials, it doesn't even graduate to the next step. So, what was it, TTD? Yeah, okay. Trade Desk. Okay. I don't know if I've looked at this in a while. Thank you to the 400 people that are here. If you hit the like, I'm grateful for it. You don't have to. If I suck, you probably shouldn't. You should hit the down button. Trade Desk. Forward PE of 90. I don't love that. This stock must have done all right. Now you got me curious. Let's pull this up. You got me curious. Do I already have it? I feel like I have TDD. Nope. Okay. All right. Maybe I never saved it. Back in the day, I wasn't as good at it, so let's just hit this now. I have to add a bunch of stuff to Discord, guys. I've been failing you guys. I am going to work on it. Just give me time. I got a lot to do. The wife's trying to keep me in check, too. She's like, Jesse, people are asking for stuff. Get over here. She doesn't talk like that, but yeah, see, look at this. Look at how well this is done. I'm worried that we could be topping on this, dude. I'm worried about topping. Really worried about topping. Yeah. Let me just do a long-term, like, crazy one. Oh, no, this is a trend-based fib extension. I don't want that. I want this. So here's what I would be worried about. I would be worried about a trip down to 92. There's no real volume here. Let's see. Let's zoom over. There's no real volume over here. And just look at this. There's this massive volume shelf down here. You can see where volume picks up right around 91. I would be worried that this thing can retrace. It's just a really high valuation. And let me look at estimates. Estimates are better. EPS is looking better. That's not bad, but they gotta hit that. They need to hit that so these valuations start to come down. They've got free cash flow. I don't hate that at all, but that PE is just too high. The PE ratio 232, forward of 91, too high. They need to do better. I love their cash position. I love the $500 million in bonds, probably collecting a decent interest rate. $1 billion in cash, $200 million in debt. I like that they're investing in R&D, but also like Hood is such a competitor. They're such a competitor. I just don't know anymore. I think they're tough, but this is overvalued to me right now. Sealess, Albert, or at least small to medium sized. Point is the reactor module is made on a factory assembly line. That's cool. Jeff, can you look at Wolf? Yes, I can, sir. Let me make sure I saved that chart, too. I'm trying to get better at that. Yeah, I did. Okay, did I save this one? This one? Okay, good. Getting better at it. All right, Wolf Speed. I think we looked at this the other day. So there's a couple things I hate. I hate the diminished cash position, and they got some bonds in here, but again, what are they locked into for that? I don't like the growing debt, reduction in cash while diluting, while flat revenues. I mean, look at the yearly on this. It looks like it's worse. I mean, maybe they were going up again, but now it looks like it's rolling over. Net income is horrendous and only getting worse. Cash flow, again, yearly is horrendous and only getting worse for free cash flow. Just horrible. And we're seeing short interest that's almost 31%. They're buying, the insiders are buying their stock, so they either are insane or believe in something. But I wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole. And so I'm not going to look up the ticker. Albert, my lecturer in uni, once said, Jesse, if historically something looks too good to be a coincidence, it isn't or wasn't. Yeah, I believe that. Not sure the context, though. Alejandro, Ionic, I can look at that. And what time is it? All right, so we're an hour in. Yeah, I can do some more. Again, I'm trying to get better for my family's time and my own and yours. So we're going to roll through stuff quicker in the future. And I'm going to try and prepare ahead of time. I just want to make these videos clear and concise. Ionic, 106%, massive revenue growth. What's the yearly look like? Also good. Net income, bad, very bad. Free cash flow, very bad. Seeing some uptick here. So what did we get in revenue last quarter? We got 11.4 million, but we lost 37. That's a horrible number. Activity, we've got them selling massive, just dumping massive amounts of stock. Back in 2022, into 2022. Institutions want to get away from this. The short interest is 21.56. The revenues are supposed to go higher, but they're still losing money. Companies that don't make money don't survive. This looks like horrific. I mean, look at this. Operating expenses are gapping up above income. This is like one of the worst ones I've looked at. Their revenue is, stock-based comp is 184% of revenue. So they're paying themselves way more than they're making. That sucks. This is just a really horrible stock. My 2 cents. Tom LaPointe, MSTR. Why is it not going higher with BTC? Well, if you followed me, Tom, you would know that I said that MicroStrategy was set to underperform because its net asset value compared to its underlying Bitcoin holdings was at a historically very high point. You can see over here where the net asset value, that's basically the premium. Like, what do you have for Bitcoin and the companies? Like, if you liquidated it, what was it worth versus what is the price of the stock? And what is it valued at? So that's your net asset value premium, right? So this one is 2.3x the underlying, which means it's 130% more than what they actually have for Bitcoin holdings and what the company is worth. That is a huge disparity that by the end of this cycle will probably be gone. If you look down here, the net asset value during the bear markets can be lower than the Bitcoin holdings. So this was very high historically, like we were up in these levels, and we were up at like 2.6, 2.7. And so I said, you're going to see MicroStrategy underperform. That's why last week I sold out of MSTX 3x or 2x or something, the underlying, and I sold out of some BITX too, just because I wanted more Tesla. But I got out of that because of the risk. And so I said at that time, Bitcoin will outperform, miners will outperform, and MicroStrategy will start to underperform, and that's what's happened. So that's why. Albert, C-list 100% nuclear reactors should become something going out of factory line and not a multi-cabillion USD government projects. Yeah, I agree. What we should be doing, though, we should incentivize energy creation, and we should work with regulation to streamline the process and make it safe, but make it as quick and easy to do as possible so that we can have a lot of innovation in the United States when it comes to energy, especially nuclear. Now, again, you don't want to cut too many corners. You got to have sensible regulation, but you also want people to be able to build these, especially the small ones. Reduce risk. Again, can't even melt down if you're doing it right. Dave Bohm, nice. You're looking at ELF. Started a position a few days ago. C-list. We can have global standard for nuclear waste and containers. Then competition will be forced by optimizing the system. Nick says MicroStrategy front ran the miners. Exactly. And let's just here's a really quick and easy representation of why this was going to happen. It's not rocket science really, if you look at it. So let me just do this. I'm not the smartest cookie, so I can tell you if I understand things, you can understand them too. I mean, there are people dumber than me, but I think most people can understand these concepts. Let me just scroll down here. So let's look at what happened over the last 3 months. MicroStrategy outperformed. What happened over the last month? Cypher is now outperforming. I don't think that's going to last. I actually don't think Cypher is that great, but I won't shit on it either because everything takes turns. But over a year time frame, MicroStrategy has really outperformed. Wolf also really outperformed. I think that's going to slow down too for Wolf. But if we go up 5 years, I mean, look at it. MicroStrategy is the leader by far when you factor in bear market, like near, before the bear market and where we were comparatively 5 years ago. You can see that MicroStrategy was the winner. So this is like the worst possible. This is the toughest representation. Bitcoin 5 years ago, we're only up 15.27% because we really haven't had that run yet. And look at MicroStrategy, just outpacing everything. It's CleanSpark down 34%, Cypher down 39%, Bit Digital down 60%, Iron down 62%, Mara down 67%, Riot down 74%, and Wolf is worse than that. So this gives you an idea of just how, if you look at different time frames, you can see this underperformance and outperformance. MicroStrategy has really been outperforming just in the last year at 495%, when Wolf was only 360, CleanSpark's only 200, Iron's only 182, Bitcoin's only 137, and some of these are underperforming Bitcoin over that year time frame. So you will see jockeying. This is normal. There's some that I would prefer to hold more than others. DC 2023, awesome, thank you. Alex Garcia, Nick +1. Silas Albert, SMRs can be located where coal and gas plants are decommissioned, existing grid compatible, and therefore geographically optimized. That's cool. I think Silas is going to be one of our main experts on nuclear technology. There's probably a few of you in the Discord. That's kick-ass because it's not my specialty. Kane says, Derek quickly literally tweeting about LEU as you talk about it. Albert, Silas, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Private capital should be doing exactly that, but it most likely won't happen until Tesla-like company enters the field. Will Amazon be it? Hope so. High capital companies, like big capital tech companies. I mean, who was it? Microsoft that was getting involved in nuclear energy too? And now we have Amazon. We're going to have all of them. NVIDIA is definitely going to be a part of all this. Has anybody looked into superconducting high voltage lines for long distance transmission? This is way better than having a regular DC trunk line. I think it's an early stage area. You sound like you're an expert on this. I am not, but hopefully others can talk to it. Dave Bohm, Amit is funny though. I love Amit. He's a great person. He's a genuinely great person, and he's already gotten so much better. I would say that Amit, because of his longer time frame that he's willing to look at, and then how he looks at investing strategies and his willingness to listen to other people, is better than me, Kevin. I think he's better. And he's done so much in the last several years that I've watched him. Silas, Albert, there are many companies. I suspect Amazon has picked one to work with. Silas, NewScale is a higher profile SMR developer. I love that you guys have all this knowledge. Albert Pavlikovic, sorry about that. Yeah, most likely that's the case. Future Guy on X says, good afternoon, everybody. Silas says, GE, Hitachi, Rolls-Royce. I know it's so weird that Rolls-Royce is a part of that, but yeah. Westinghouse, EDF, TerraPower are others seriously working on SMRs. And that's small nuclear reactors, right? Or what is SMR? Help me out. Or is that help me with terminology. I need to catch up. Kyle Samate, TDOC. Does TDOC still suck? I think it still sucks as a company. But let's take a look, because I have been interested in this. I love the concept. I just need to figure. I want them to I want to see them make money. It's the hard part. So we got flat revenue growth. We got no real earnings. We've got them buying the stock more so than not over between 2022 and now. Institutional ownership is growing. Short interest is not horrible, but it's 16.4, so it's not great. The thing I don't like. So interesting. Let's look at this. United States is the bulk of their business. It is in decline. It looks like international is kind of flatlined. Revenue by segment. BetterHelp makes up a ton. Integrated care makes up a decent amount. It's interesting to me that this BetterHelp is such a huge part of the business. That's kind of cool. Integrated care, EBITDA. Stock-based comp is 6.55%. They are doing a good job at lowering their expenses. They're not seeing revenue growth. Chronic care program enrollment is up, so maybe that's a point in the future that gets better. I really don't know about this company and when they're going to start growing. They need to grow because their forward PE is non-existent, and it's because of no growth. And they're cash flow positive. I can't hate that. Their free cash flow is $61 million off of $642 million in revenue. It's not great, but it's not horrible. I've seen worse. I like that their debt is lower than their cash position right now, but they're diluting shares, and I just need to know when these guys are going to start making money. So I don't think it's a good opportunity right now at 1.7 billion market cap, even though the enterprise value is 2.1. I just can't see where the value is here. Sela says, but commercial SMRs don't exist. Leslie Picker said, next, please, Jesse, and thank you for your streams, always on point. Yeah, I can look at that. I'll probably look at just a couple more guys, and then I'm probably going to need to call it. I'll read some comments here, but I'll look at next. Probably that's going to be my last one for now, and then yeah, probably my last one for now. Which next? Next Decade Corporation, I'm assuming. Revenue is inconsistent, almost non-existent. Only started, yeah, just pretty much non-existent. They're burning tons of cash, especially between Q3 of 2023 and on. Their debt loads are unsustainable. They're diluting shareholder value. It seems to be a horrifically run company. Institutional ownership has ticked up. Short interest has ticked up 10.47. You can see where they bought back stock. Insiders were buying in Q1 of 2023, and then they were selling in Q2 of 2024, more than buying. I don't see anything good about this company. It doesn't mean there can't be good things. Their stock-based comp appears to happen once a year in Q4. So that's when they're going to screw you. In Q4, the quarter coming up here, they're going to screw you by diluting their shares. Well, I don't know. That's at least when they report them. But 494% stock-based comp versus revenue is horrible. It basically means that you're paying these people salaries and they're getting rich and they're not producing any revenue. I think it's a horrible investment just at a glance, but that's just their financials. It's not their fundamentals. Maybe there's something to it, but it just looks like trash. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but I worked really hard not to cuss today. I'm quite proud of myself. Anyway, I think I'm just going to read through comments, make sure I haven't missed anything else to major here. NBCR, please, from Future Guy on X. In the future, I will try and get that, my friend. Sealess NewScale canceled first kind of Idaho plant last year, which was a disappointment. Disease Kodak, if you have time after TDT for Clean Spark, that would be cool. Let's do it tomorrow morning in Market Open or in the Market Recap. I'll do it. I'll for sure get to it, bro. Alejandro says about Ionic, the revenue growing is impressive. The technology is disruptive. There will not be any supercomputer that compares with the system. Yeah, I just don't believe any of that until I see it. Quantum computing is such an impossible thing. But if they do it and you're right, I will root for you and I will give you a huge congratulations, Alejandro. But with quantum computing over these years, if there's anything I've learned, I'll believe it when I see it. It's very much, yeah, it's just, yeah, we'll see. But I'm rooting for you, man. If you got something in it, I hope it does well. I hope you make a ton of money and I'm wrong. There are plenty of uranium stocks, but some already had crazy returns like 15x, et cetera, over past couple of years. Yeah, it's hard to buy into that, isn't it? Joe Doan, can you take a look? Nope, I cannot, but I will next time. Manny247, I want to buy Juniper yesterday, not available in the UK. I asked if I could buy a Cybertruck. The rep judged me in my working clothes. I probably know more about Tesla than him. I feel you, bro. I think a lot of people think I'm a homeless person, so they don't realize I'm rich. I think if you're smart, you don't judge people by appearance because you can be totally wrong. Some of the richest people I know look the goofiest, and you would never know it. If they weren't in a Ferrari or in their private jet, you would just not know it. Audric Trudeau said, if you had to buy one Bitcoin miner tomorrow, which one would it be for a long-term portfolio? Clean Spark for sure. I feel very confident about Clean Spark. If I was going to buy more than one, I would probably get 50% Clean Spark, 25% Iron, and then maybe, I don't know, 12.5% Mara, 12.5% Bitfarms, just to get all spectrums of market cap. I think that would be a pretty diversified portfolio, in my opinion. But I don't know. I like the diversification. Thoughts on Archer? I think it sucks. I think it's a horrible idea to have a plane that flies above your house and have thousands of those in a very small city. I don't know. I just think it's incredibly difficult. We haven't even mastered autonomy yet in vehicles on the ground that only have to look at going forward, backwards, and side to side. I can't imagine trying to deal with all the complexities of wind and updrafts and downdrafts and just all the fears that go in with flying vehicles. There's a reason Elon's not doing it. It's complicated. And have you looked at their stuff? It just looks horrible. Sealess, will miners likely peak before May? I know it's just, I don't know if they'll peak before May. I think they'll probably peak in the latter part of the summer, is my guess, early fall. It just all depends on how much they go up. I'll probably be out of the bulk of them though, because I'll be getting out of multipliers. Soaring Shitty says nuclear running. Yes, it is. Sealess, Bill Gates, and Amazon. Interesting. Amit, thanks for the love, Jesse. Although I'm the wrong Amit. Yeah, that's awesome. Ryan Rukowski, have you decided if Jake Twister's Twitter subscription is worth it? I haven't actually looked that much, but I'm trying to support him. I think he's a great guy. He's trying to get me on a space with him and banana stocks. I might do it. I don't know. I did a lot of collaborations with people for a while. I don't know. I got to think about it. Sealess, small modular nuclear reactor. Okay, thanks, bro. Jeff L, AM modular reactor. Jeff L, small. Albert, quite good attempt to pronounce my surname. C in the end is pronounced cha, like cheese. Paklavichevich. All right, whatever. I suck. Sorry. The Machine, Jesse, I have Hood $15 and $20 calls expiring on January 2025. What is Hood at right now? 27. Okay. I'm up over 800%. I don't own enough stock. What would you do? Here's what I would do. If when we get to this next fib here at $30, I would probably be out. And if you haven't taken any profits, shouldn't you? I love this company and it can go higher, but if you're up 800%, don't you think you should be converting that to stock so that you remove time-based risk? You better have cash when these things expire too. If you don't actually have the money to buy with your contracts when they expire, you're screwed. All the money go bye-bye. So I don't know. I would probably be owning the stock. And I would buy other stuff too. Again, you know what I love? Tesla, PayPal. I think is a good opportunity. Everything Bitcoin, ARKG maybe. But yeah, I think Hood can still do really well, and I like Vlad, and I'm looking at maybe moving $1 million over to them and taking 30,000 in immediate profits because of the 3% transfer offer for an IRA. But on that same note, I still think that you got to take profits, man. You got to take profits. Good company or not. Otherwise, you don't have any. Every once in a while, you got to cash. The Machine. I'm thinking about selling my $20 calls and purchasing the $15 calls. Or you could just be done with calls. If you've made 800%, bro, that's so great. Tony Naguyan, hey Jesse, CCL has run up quite a bit. How far do you think technicals? We can look at that next time. Sealess, I like herbivore dinosaurs. Very interesting comment, Sealess. Thank you for sharing. Dave Bohm, could you take a look at Rocket Lab? We can do that next time. All right, so I think we're good. It's just a lot of stock requests and then some thank yous and a lot of talk about uranium. So, by the way, if you want to read a lot about uranium, John Quakes99 is a good follow. On X, Quakes99, I'll take a look at that. Yeah, man, I love learning about new subjects. So, let me see here. New subjects are fun. Oh, okay, cool. All right, thanks, dude. Thanks for the recommendation. I'll check them out. All right, guys, thank you very much. Thank you for being here. I tried to be on my best behavior, and I thought I did a good job. Anyway, I hope you guys stick around. I hope you enjoy everything that Bitcoin and investing can offer. We're going to end this one with some Vitalik. This is Vitalik. It's 1 hour long, so we're not going to go that long, but it's Vitalik clapping. So if you guys don't know who Vitalik is, Vitalik Buterin is the Russian-born creator of Ethereum. And I don't know if it's the best shitcoin out there, but it's fun to watch him clap. Peace out, guys. Love you. See you tomorrow morning. Probably doing 7 o'clock again. So, and if things get crazy, I might be on earlier. Anyway, you guys take it easy. I do have some things some standalone videos I'll probably make soon. Just for some things that speak to me, like my origin story, I think is going to be one. And then also just my thoughts on futurism and what's coming next. I think it's important to talk about that more. So I'll probably be doing something like that. Anyway, love you guys a bunch. And here is Vitalik dancing. We also have Vitalik clapping, which is fun, but we're going dancing this time. Peace out, guys.
Look at Vitalik dance. To me, it's almost like romance. Like when I saw Ivan's pants.
I forgot about Ivan.
Check out this dance. Vitalik is dancing. Vitalik is dancing. Vitalik is dancing. Why are they dancing? Vitalik is dancing. Vitalik is dancing. This guy is dancing. Why are they dancing? Look at Vitalik dance. To me, it's almost like romance. Like when I saw Ivan's pants. Check out this dance. Vitalik is dancing. Vitalik is dancing. Vitalik is dancing. Why are they dancing? Vitalik is dancing. Vitalik is dancing. This guy is dancing. Why are they dancing? Look at Vitalik dance.